Okay, you should hear me loud and clear. Hello? I think you have the plugs perhaps in the wrong... Pull your plugs out for a second. Let me see what you got going on. Okay. Check 1, 2. Yeah, but I don't hear you. Maybe we can forego the audio this time.
Yeah, okay, how about now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Not now?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Now?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll give this a shot.
Okay. Okay, so where are we on the checklist here?
Right, so I got avionics master, make sure you... Yes?
Okay, we'll take care of that. I've put your transponder code in. Weather and clearance, 1, 2, 3. It'll just tell us.
Calic Airfield, automated advisory, wind, altimeter 3042, per runway, listen for traffic.
Okay, 3042, and winds are calm. Okay?
Okay, flaps. Up.
Yep. DG set, so this is pointing at 185, so you would turn this to 185. I'm sorry, it's pointing at 175. Yep. Okay. All right, and remove the parking brake. So pull it out and turn it clockwise. There you go. All right. So now we're going to taxi. So what we can do is winds all day have been favoring runway 6. They're really kind of dying. I'll tell you what, let's just be consistent. We'll fly runway 6. Okay, so one of the things we're going to do with flight control exchange is we'll say you have the flight controls, I have the flight controls. It's a three-way handoff. So if I have the flight controls, I'll say I have the flight controls, you'll say you have the flight controls, and I'll acknowledge. Okay, it's just a three-way handoff to make sure we know who's flying the airplanes. Now, as far as taxiing is concerned, let me just demonstrate. So go ahead and release the brakes. Notice we're already moving. Okay, hand on the yoke, hand on the throttle. Okay, and then I'm going to basically get on these yellow taxi lines here. If I want to turn right, I can press the rudder pedal to the right, okay, and bring that nose wheel around. And then what I want to do is I want to intercept the center line here. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to check my brakes while I have this. Okay, my brakes are good. Now, what I would like to do is you have flight controls.
I have the flight controls.
You have the flight controls. One hand on the throttle, one hand on the yoke, and then using your feet to steer. So if your nose is going to the right, you'll give it a little left pedal, and if it's going to the left, you'll give it a little right pedal. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit of latency. It's sort of a indirect coupling mechanism, and then if you start getting fast, just pull the throttle out a little bit. Okay, a little bit of right pedal. Try to keep us on the center line. If you put your head here, you'll see where the center line is in respect to where you are. So you were left of center. There you go. No, that's pretty good. I mean, we're a little left of center, but that's okay. You can just put your head in the middle and look. And then there's a set of rivets right here on your cowling. And if you line those rivets up with the yellow line, it'll, in all likelihood, it'll wind up putting us right over the center line. Your view of the center line is offset because you're sitting offset. You're not on the center line of the aircraft. And you can just check it by going here. Like right now, that's like perfect. So whatever that looks like to you.
Right on the rivet.
Yeah. There you go.
Potomac Airfield. Updated advisory. Visibility now 3.5 miles.
Now we would start our turn to the left. So left pedal, and then we'll stop right here. Good. Pull our parking brake. So now this is a run-up checklist, okay? So parking brake, doors and windows, closed and latched, okay? Fuel selector on both, okay, you go ahead and run that. Okay, mixture, fuel prime lock, so the fuel prime, you just want to make sure that's locked. If you turn that, there's a nipple that will turn the black part. See the nipple? Okay, so you want to make sure that's turned at least 90 degrees, maybe 180 degrees, so that nipple won't pop out while you're flying, okay?
Got it. Hear me still?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so mixture rich.
Mixture rich right here, all the way in.
Oil temp is green.
Okay.
So throttle to 1700.
Yep, so area's clear, brakes are set, toe brakes, and parking brake, throttle's coming up 1700. 1700 on the RPM. Okay, now hand to the key. 2 clicks to the left.
Set.
2 clicks to the left.
Aim
Okay,
down.
we have a drop, back to both. 1 click to the left. Drop about the same amount, back to both.
Pull the carb heat.
Not yet. So mags, alternator check. On the master switch, toggle the left-hand side of the master switch. Okay, so it goes negative and we get a light. Turn it back on. Okay, that check's good. Oil pressure should be in the green.
It is.
And oil temp is good. Okay. Now vacuum pressure is up here.
Okay,
In the
good.
green,
It's in the green.
good. Okay,
Now carburetor heat.
correct.
Okay.
Get a drop and then throttle to idle. Make sure it doesn't stall.
Good.
Throttle to 1000 and get rid of the carb heat.
Doesn't take much to get to 1000.
There you go. Okay, so
Parking brake release.
parking brake release. Mixture rich. RP cold. Ignition check both. Make sure we didn't leave it in right or left.
On both.
Okay. Trim
Trim it.
set. You want the white line aligned with the white mark?
Is that close enough?
Yep.
Yep. And again, engine gauges.
Yep.
Oil pressure fine. Good to go. Oh, and then flight instruments.
Okay. 0. This is level. Field elevation. This is level. 210. We want 210 here. It looks like it's 25, so we would just make a minor adjustment. This is reading plus 100. Okay, so we'll just know that that's plus 100. It's about 100 feet off. Okay, so engine instruments are good. Transponder 4631, 4631. It's on alt, and we got 12512 on, and I'll deal with the radios today. Okay, alternate static. Okay, so pull that, and you should see a deflection on your instruments when you change it. What that does is shift from the port outside to a port inside. in case
Okay.
it iced up. Okay. Alternate static, seatbelts, doors, flight controls.
Good thing checklist. That came off. Okay. First good.
The way a typical takeoff brief would go is something like this. We're going to be taking off runway 6 today, and for our departure to the south. If there's any engine issues on the ground, we'll pull the power to idle and aggressively brake. If there's an issue with engine after departure, we will look for a suitable landing place and land. We will not turn back to the airport unless we have enough altitude to do so safely. Okay, so next is, flaps 10. Flaps 10, so we...
He didn't say we always do off on...
Correct, okay. So, I'll help you with the takeoff. I'll talk you through it. So let's go ahead and taxi onto the runway. Potomac, 5477 Kilo, taking the active 6, departure to the South Potomac. Now what we'll do is we'll line up with the center line here. Make sure that our nose wheel is straight. Okay, stop. Full brakes. Now we're going to add full power. We're going to rotate at 55 and climb out at 76. Those airspeeds are important. Okay, we're making power. That's good. We're going to release brakes. Okay, right rudder to keep us on the center line. Okay, good, good. Hand on the throttle, good. Keep it in. Okay, airspeed is alive. Okay, that's good. We're staying on the center line, looking good. There's 50, we'll rotate at about 55. There's 55, a little bit of back pressure. Nice and gentle. No, nose down, we want to basically accelerate to 76. So nose down. There we go, 76 is what we're looking for. There's 76. Now, reach over and bring the flaps up one notch. Okay, and pitch for 76. So you're going to hold this airspeed at 76 and establish that sight picture that we talked about inside. Okay? And keeping our wings level. You see that tower sticking up? Let's fly towards that tower. Okay, 76. So pull back. Pulling up gives you slower airspeed because you're going uphill. Pushing gives you a faster airspeed. Alright, 700 feet, we're going to start a turn to the left. Okay, nice and gentle. Continue our climb in the turn, 76 on the airspeed. And continue all the way around. You'll see we're going to come up on a school and there'll be a white ball. It's actually a radar dish coming up here. Let's just keep going around. And right, you can start to see the ball now.
I see it, yep.
Okay, we're going to fly right over that ball. And at 1,300 feet, we're going to lower the nose. And let's level the wings here. And we'll parallel the runway. Runway's right off to your left. We'll lower the nose here. We're going to let the airspeed come up. Look at this airspeed. Oh, okay. This is a good cruise attitude. That's good. Now we're going to bring the power back to 2,300 RPM. 2,300.
That's 23 right there.
That's about 24. There you go. Okay, good. And then we'll trim off any pressure with the wheel. So reach down and trim the nose down just a little bit. And then let's turn to the left here. There's two water towers in the distance. We're going to fly towards those.
To the northwest.
Potomac, November 5477 Kilo is departing the pattern to the southwest, call Potomac. And then just point to those water towers. 1,300 feet. Okay, 2,300 RPM. And we want to keep, see how this sight picture looks? This is pretty well cruise. Okay, 1,300 is our altitude. We can't go above that because of the airspace. And Potomac, November 5477 Kilo is off of VKX.
5477 Kilo, Potomac transponder observed, altimeter 3042, proceed on course outside class Bravo.
3042 outside of Bravo, 177 Kilo. Alright, beautiful. Got 100 knots going, 2,300, 1,300 feet, going for our water towers.
That's Indiana Highway right there.
No. Oh yes, that is. That is Indiana Highway. So we've got a very predictable profile right now. 2,300 RPM. See our sight picture? Just if you remember that sight picture, that's pretty much giving you exactly what you want. If you were to pull up a little bit, the land would shrink, the sky would increase, and you would start a climb. And I'll show you how we're going to, once we get to that first water tower, we're going to climb.
November has 2 Whiskey 5 in sight.
434 November, roger, keep the code T land, change to advisor, frequency approved.
Squawk on the ground, going to advisory, 34 November.
That where it goes to the floor, it goes to 2,500.
That's right, so we'll climb to 2,300. And if I didn't know better, I would say you've done this before. How much time do you spend working on the simulator?
Sometimes a lot, sometimes I run out of time.
Yeah, well, as a cardiologist, I can imagine they don't have a lot of free time, I'm sure. When we get to that first water tower, you see the stacks in the distance?
Yes.
What we'll do is we'll turn towards the stacks. That's the Nice Bridge power plant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Passed them a billion times going over that bridge.
Yep. And if you look here, the airspace, so this ring that's coming up, that's the FRZ, and then this other ring is the class, this is where 2,500 begins.
Okay.
So there's a couple landmarks here. This water tower is a great one, and then there's a road. The road is actually 228, which takes you to Waldorf. That's Waldorf down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And once you pass the road, you can start your climb. So there's a Berry Elementary is right here, and you can the water tower is a great marker for once you get over the water tower, you can begin your climb because then you're well clear.
141 uniform
of
Sierra has 2 Whiskey 5
next
inside. I'm going to do some pattern work, and I do have the telephone number.
Now you see that smoke over there?
Remember 141 uniform Sierra,
That's telling you that the winds are coming out of the east.
Change to advisor, frequency approved.
The winds are actually wanting to blow you to
Centurion
the west.
inbound for 2 Whiskey 5. He's about 5 miles to the east, 2,000 on
You see the road here?
I do, yep.
Thanks
And
a lot, Doc.
you can see it on out the right window as well.
Yep.
Now it's a climb. All you have to do is add full power. You don't even have to do anything on the yoke, just add the power. So what I wanted you to see was that the plane will actually climb by itself. A little bit of right rudder might be necessary. And then you can pitch it for 90. So remember I talked to you again about sight picture. So if I pitched way, 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 way up, watch my airspeed.
Props.
It's going to be way below, right? So I don't necessarily want that. Okay, if I pitch not much at all, it's going to go above 90. So really, 90 should look about right there, I would say. That's my sight picture calibration for 90. And then you can correlate it. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to take my sight picture out the window. I'm going to now check with a scan and look, okay, how's my airspeed? You know, but I'm mostly out the window. Checking out this sight picture here.
811 November.
And then our power plant is off to the right just a little bit, about 1 o'clock. So we can actually start our turn to that as well.
Remain outside the SFRA. You did file a inbound flight, is that correct?
Yes, sir. 6811 November.
Alright, stand by.
And when we start at about 2250, we're going to lower the nose. Don't touch the power yet. Just lower the nose to a cruise sight picture. So let's again take that mental note of where that is. You'll note that the climb will stop, the airspeed comes up, and when we get to cruise airspeed, bring the power back to 2300.
6711 November.
You can almost do it by hearing. Just, you know, there's a sound, obviously, a very distinct sound, 2300 sounds like. and the power plant's about 11 o'clock.
6811 November, transponder observed, altimeter 3042, proceed on course outside of Bravo.
Got a jet over here to the
Altimeter
right.
3042 remaining outside of Bravo, 6811 November.
Alright, so 2300 now. Note what we did. We established equilibrium, cruise flight 2300 at 1300 feet. We made one change. Well, we made two changes. We made one primary change was we added full power, and then we pitched for an attitude. And then when we wanted to do when we level flight, we went back to a cruise attitude. We allowed the airspeed to get back to cruise airspeed, and then we put it back on
November, there's a heavy C-17
2300
off of Quantico,
and we're trimmed, so we're back in a state of equilibrium. Cruise 2300 or 2300 feet altitude. Okay, so we simplified our workload. You know, by minimizing the number of changes, the numbers of variables that we introduced into the equation. If we would have trimmed it and did all this other stuff, then we would have had to retrim it, which you could do. It's just unnecessary.
Approach Cessna 66198, departing Maryland, requesting.
And I mean, if you were particularly busy, you wouldn't want to go through all of that. So, all right, let's do a turn. So let's turn to the left. So the way we do turns is we basically will establish a bank, so you'll roll to a bank angle, you'll neutralize the control, and then you may need a little bit of back pressure depending on the bank angle. So let's do a turn to the left, no more than 30 degrees. Bank angle of your choice.
Turn to the left to 130 degrees.
No, turn to the left no more than 30 degrees.
Oh.
In other words, no more than 30 degrees on the AI. 10, 20, 30.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to hold 2,300 feet. Okay, so you would establish a bank, you neutralize it. Okay, and it'll hold that bank. Now it'll start to bleed off, so you'll have to add a little bit of aileron. And you see that power plant there? We're going to go straight and level on that power plant. So now roll out, neutralize the controls, and there we are on that. Okay, 2,300 feet.
6108 transponder observed, proceed on course
let's turn to the right, to the other power plant.
3042 and remain out of the Bravo, Cessna 66198.
Neutralize. A little bit of back pressure may be necessary, maybe not. These airplanes are very forgiving. And there's our power plant in the distance.
Well,
so yeah, wings level on the power plant.
go further.
Okay, let's do that again, all the way to the left.
I'm looking for where the horizon's cutting. Here?
You can. Or you can just look at the sight picture as is and you can say, hey, you know, where is the horizon in respect to the cowling? Just look at this angle. And then verify that, you know, it's what you want it to be. Just keep, okay, that's fine. I was going to say, let's just keep going around. So just keep going to the left and we'll go in a circle.
Okay.
And 6811 November, the C-17 Travis Snow factory is about 4 miles behind you southbound.
Roger, 681 November, we kept our eye on it, 681 November.
And then this time we'll wings level on this first power plant coming up. Now you'll notice that you actually have to lead your turnout. You have to lead your turnout about half your bank angle. So that was a 30-degree bank angle turn, so you would lead that about 15 degrees before. So if you note that's about heading at what, 210, maybe 205, you would have started your turnout somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 220. And then you would have been pinpoint right on that thing. Okay, So now, if I wanted to descend,
Tarmac approach.
let's just
Cessna
reduce the
661
power to
you
about
have,
1800.
Potomac Air fill inside.
And let the nose come down when you do it.
Reduce to where?
About 1800 RPM.
Frequency change approved, thank you. Cessna 661-9R8.
Now watch the nose. Just watch what happens. Don't even put any pressure on the yoke. Just kind of let it just keep the wings level, and nose went down. Lots more land, different sight picture. Okay. This is a descent. We just went down 300 feet. Okay, now let's bring the pitch back up to cruise and add the power back. And let's cruise at 2,000.
Cruise at 2,000 feet.
2,000 feet. 2,300 RPM. I'm sorry, it's always 2,300 RPM for cruise.
Okay.
It's always full power for climb. And the power settings coming down are a little situational.
Depending on how fast you want to go down.
Or, right, whether you're on glide path or not. So if you were landing, you would adjust your glide path with the power. So you just drop 300 feet intentionally, and you simply reduce the power and then add the power back. So the scenario is pitch power trim. Pitch power trim. Well, you don't have to do trim because you're already trimmed. So it's just pitch power trim. So pitch, by reducing the power, the nose came down by itself. You didn't have to do that. Okay. So add full power now. Just don't do anything with the yoke. Just let it be. A little bit of right rudder. Look at that. Now, did you pull up like that?
No.
Nope. Exactly. So now let's pitch for 90. So we're going to basically establish that sight picture for 90. So we'll get a little bit more deliberate about it now.
I'm just trying to remember what the sight picture was.
Yep. Well, and it's changing because the sun's going down too.
How high do we want to go?
Let's go up to 3,000. And then what are you going to do when we get to 3,000?
Well, before we get to 3,000, I'm going to put the attitude down to the cruise attitude.
Right.
About 70 feet to go because it's 10% of the climb rate.
And you're going to let it accelerate?
So we get to about 100.
Yep.
Then back to 2,300.
Right. Let's turn to the east, so
Say
left
11
turn.
November traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles southbound, Embraer 145 over 4,000.
3,000 feet.
Roger. Have him in sight, 671 November.
Experimental November 1948 with you.
Now let's go wings level here. And actually, let's start a turn to the right, and we'll head to a heading of about an easterly heading. Let's say 120. I just want to avoid this airspace because it's 2,500 there.
Potomac approach, experimental November 1948.
Terminal 1948, Potomac, good.
Done with our water work, like to return to Whiskey 32, 1948.
It's actually 3,500
Roger,
there, so we're good.
what else do you I don't see it quite yet.
Okay, so
800, we're still climbing
now
948.
let's say I want to climb.
1948,
and turn.
verify it's clocking 4641.
How would I do that?
Clocking 4641, we'll keep climbing until you see us
So
before
you
we
could
enter
establish
948.
the
194
Flying first
transponders
and then
observed,
make it.
Washington altimeter 3042,
Wanna
proceed
go?
on course, remain outside.
Yeah, or I could add power, full power.
Proceeding on course at clear Bravo will advise you
Full
tighten that
power.
course.
Okay, nose is going to come up, establish my climb attitude, and start a turn.
Atomic approach, Mooney 671 November. I have Victor Kilo X-ray in sight.
Climbing turn to the right.
6811 November, remain on your beacon code until you land, change to advisor
Got a nice rate going.
Frequency change
3,200
approved,
feet.
remaining on the code until we land. 6811 November.
Now, is your ball, is that in the middle between the two black lines?
Yes.
Okay, good. And let's stop at 3,500 feet on our climb and continue the turn. So now what would we do? We would lower the nose, continue the turn, allow the airspeed to come up, and then reduce our power to 2300 when we get to our desired cruise airspeed. So we've basically just now incorporated two steps, right? A turn and a climb. And we'll do the same thing now for a descent. So we'll just get out of the sun here in a minute.
Good afternoon, Potomac Skyline 3070 Yankees, maintaining 1000 just off of Charlie Golf Sierra.
3070 Yankee Potomac transponder observed, altimeter 3042, proceed
All
on
right,
course,
let's wing
remain
level
outside
here.
class Bravo.
Set on course, remain outside of class
And just
Bravo.
cruise for a little bit at 3,500 feet. Now this airspace limit is 3,000. Airspace is limit is 3,500. So
Right there.
we'll turn left here, and let's do a descent. So we're going to reduce the power to 1,800 in a left turn, and pull the carb heat because we're below the green arc. Okay, and keep the turn bank, keep the bank going. So your sight picture, a lot more land. You're in a bank. You're descending.
So I just descend at the same, about 100, 105?
Yeah, that's fine. You just don't want to get excessively fast in the descent, so you don't want to be diving to the ground because you have a range. So green is normal range, yellow is caution, and red is never exceed. So we just came down about 600 feet. Let's wings level and establish cruise at. Why don't we establish cruise at 2,800?
Come off a descent, do you just go straight to 2300 or do you put it to max first to accelerate?
Nope, you basically pitch and power simultaneously coming out of the descent. You really don't want to add a lot of power pitch down because you're going to accelerate your downhill roll, so to speak. So what you'd want to do is pitch to level and add power simultaneously. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, because you really don't want to accelerate in the dive. And let's continue a turn to the left here at 2,800 feet. Hey, you're doing really well. I mean, I have students, first lesson, that, they struggle with this stuff. Did Ethan do slow flight with you?
What's that?
Did Ethan do slow flight with you?
No, he didn't.
1948.
Okay.
Environmental 1948, keep
See this
the land,
straight line of
change to
power
advisor,
lines? Let's
frequency approved.
wings level on
To the
that.
ground, thanks well, 1948.
Okay. Now, let's say that's a runway.
Okay.
Okay, so now, if I wanted to land on that, I would bring the power back to about 1,600 RPM.
Okay, do you want to do that now?
Yeah, go ahead. Now I'm going to hold 2,800 feet, so I'm not going to let the nose drop. Okay? Airspeed's going to come in. I'm going to add some flaps. So add a notch of flaps. Okay, I'm going to hold 2,800. I'm going to let the airspeed continue to come down. I'm going to add another notch of flaps. Right? And at 65, I'm going to lower the nose. Full flaps. Okay, and I'm going to pitch for 65. Okay, so basically use your trim tab and set it so that it just flies at 65. To be be able to go hands off. And there's our runway. So this is basically a landing configuration, okay? Full flaps, 1600, 1600 RPM, okay, 65 knots. It's got about a 500-foot descent rate, which is nice. And it should be, let go of the yoke for a second. Good. Okay, that's exactly what you want. Okay, so constant airspeed descent. We've configured the aircraft in a way. Now, our sink rate is very much dependent upon our power. So I could add power, okay, until you fly it at 65. So now you're going to have to change the pitch, okay, to adjust for that, okay, but you're going to descend more slowly, and you'd have to retrim it. So note your descent rate is a little lower, okay? But I mean, I'm still flying at 65.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to go around. So we're going to put full power in, and we're going to get rid of that carb heat, and we're going to start pitching up. We're going to put a little bit of right rudder in. We're going to reach over and get rid of 1 notch of flaps. Just 1. There you go. We're going to establish a 76 airspeed, so we're going to pitch down now for 76, our climb airspeed. And we're going to reach over and grab another notch of flaps, get rid of it. We incrementally release those flaps. And when we get to 76, we're going to get rid of that final notch of flaps. Alright, and hold 76 to 2,500 feet.
Well, off or keep climbing?
Now you're, yeah, you can keep climbing just real cool. So right now you could actually trim it for this if you wanted. But let's say they told you to climb to 6,000 and you didn't want to have to put all that pressure in. Yep, a little bit of right rudder is going to be necessary. Okay, and let's turn to the left while we climb. And we'll level at 3,000.
Yankee traffic.
Yeah, you see that smoke in the distance? What we'll do is we'll wings level on
11
that
o'clock,
smoke.
a mile north.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got 1,800.
Yeah, we got him inside 70 Yankee, thanks.
Roger.
Right about there.
Sorry, I should wait till I have my configuration and then trim it.
Yep, accelerate and back to 2,300. Now you will have to retrim, right? Because you trimmed it on the climb. So now you're just going to remove those control pressures. Once you get a power set to 2,300.
1,200 heading to St. Mary's Hospital.
Star 2 Potomac transponder observed, altimeter 3042, proceed on course outside the Bravo.
3042 outside the Bravo, will go, Star 2.
And let's turn to the south and get out of the sun. Are you trimmed?
I think so.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll just wings level on this power plant again. Alright, let's go to the yoke for a second, let's see what it does.
Down just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. So just establish the right pitch attitude and then take off the pressure. Good. Let's try a steep turn. So steep turn is 45 degrees.
Okay.
So this is calibrated 10, 20, 30, 60.
Want to be between
90.
these two.
Want to be between these two.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're going to find that you need a lot more pressure.
That hit there if it's 45 or there?
No, just look at where, see this indicator?
Okay.
Between these two lines here. That's really all you have to worry about.
Got it.
And then I still want you primarily out the window.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to roll in to 45. If you like, I'll demonstrate it.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, you're going to roll into 45. Okay. And you're going to immediately apply back pressure because you know you need it. So just apply some back pressure. Okay, and hold that bank angle. And then you're out the window primarily. So occasionally you're going to check that AI just to see, but you're really out the window. So you're about this sight picture here?
Oh yeah, it's easy to drop with altitude, huh?
Yep, sure is. So 30, the airplane may not need a lot of back pressure, but it sure should feel like you're putting some back pressure in at 45.
Yep.
And start your rollout. And you release that back pressure. You're flying this plane like you're on lesson 6 or something.
Thank you.
Let's go to the right. Same thing. Roll in.
Okay, hold on a second.
So,
All right. Got it.
45. Add some back pressure. A little bit of G. That's okay. Let's keep the bank angle consistent. You don't need that much back pressure. And this is where you really can see that horizon cut through a point on your cowling here.
Stomach approach, Mooney 201 Tango Juliet with extending through 5300.
And you'll notice you need a little bit of right rudder as well.
Altimeter 3041,
Stay forward.
proceed on course, remain outside of Bravo.
3041, Wilco, 1 Tango Juliet.
All right, and there's our power plant. That's wings level. And the back pressure comes out. Good. That's a steep turn. I mean, you're doing a steep turn better than some people do, you know, with multiple lessons under them.
The right side was harder.
Yes, it is. Yep. All right, let's turn to the north. We'll head to 2 Whiskey 5. And you see that dish in the ground there?
There?
Yeah, that white thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, just turn on, you know, wings level on that. And then bring your power down to about 1800 and add the carb heat, because we're going to start a descent. In fact, bring it down to about 1500. Potomac, November 5477 kilo is heading to 2 Whiskey 5, and we have 2 Whiskey 5 in sight.
5477 kilo, roger, pattern work.
Yeah, we'll be in the pattern at 2 Whiskey 5.
5477 kilo, keep the code in the pattern, change to advisory, frequency approved.
We'll keep the code, change to advisory, 77 kilo. So we got a good rate, airspeed still under control, down to 2,000. We're going to drop down to 1,500 feet. When we get to 1,500, you can reestablish cruise.
You put the carb heat in kind of simultaneously when you're putting in the power?
Yeah. Well, you put the carb heat, yes, you can do that. Some people do this with their hand. It's easy for me to do that with my left hand. Or you can add the power. The most important thing is add the power and then get rid of the carb heat later.
Hanover traffic, going 26142, turning short final for 16, Hanover.
There you go.
Are you turning in front of us? Yes. Nick 2 pound Victor is on it. We're coming over the truck stop now. Where are you?
Outgoing around 3 miles to the east, entering on the 45 to the left downwind from runway 16, Carroll County.
Now let's fly to the right of the dish.
Tango taking 20 for south departure.
Where's Maryland?
Straight ahead. So it's right beyond the dish. There's, if you look at the tree line,
Oh, yes, I see.
yeah,
right
there's
there.
an opening in the trees. It's a little harder to see because of the lighting right now.
Bring a left downwind for runway 15, port.
And then we're gonna, once we get past this dish, we're gonna descend down to 1,000. In fact, we should descend to 1,000 now, right? And where's our checklist? Here it is.
South County traffic, 30 Tango This is Governor Smith, I'd here for maneuver 3,500 feet, caution now.
So approach descent, seatbelts. Carb heat on below the green arc.
County traffic,
Mixture
Two
enriching.
Romeo Hotel is entering
Full
left
rich.
downwind.
Fuel selector both. Landing light, so we can flip the landing light on right here. Okay. Approach the landing brief and directional gyro. The directional gyro is rating about 350.
Up the same.
Nope, it's actually off because
Oh,
of those
I see.
turns.
Other side.
Yeah. And then we're coming up on 1,000. So let's
Too many traffic.
get our power in.
2 minutes to jumpers over Dinwiddie. 10,500 and below.
We
Please use
prioritize
caution.
flying before we do all these other things.
For Charlie is about 2 miles to the west, east of Clyde. Going to practice the 3-2 into Winchester.
I'm Maryland traffic, November 5477 kilos, 45 left downwind, runway 20 Maryland.
Hanover County traffic, helicopter air care to inbound from.
What we're going to do is on this 45 entry, we're going to
6 miles.
join the downwind leg, which parallels the runway. So turn slightly to the left for me.
Kind of aiming towards midfield.
Yeah, well, I like to aim a little bit to our side of midfield, so we have a little more time on downwind.
Okay.
Okay? And then what we're going to do now is turn downwind. Maryland traffic, November 5477 kilos, left downwind, runway 20 Maryland. And we're going to parallel the runway, which means it's 020 heading. And then you'll look out the window and you'll make sure that you're actually flying on what looks like a parallel course. So there's the runway.
I feel like, did I mess this up? You know what, I didn't, I hadn't pulled that out.
I got it.
3.5 enter out on 45 downwind to runway 16 Hanover.
Okay, that should be better now. It did stick on you.
Yeah, I forgot to pull it back out again,
Yep.
I think.
Okay, so we're coming up on the beam point. Okay, so at the beam point, we're going to start configuring for landing. Just like we did out there.
15 miles northwest inbound landing.
So at the beam point, we're going to pull the power to 1600.
And like before, do we try to keep the nose up for
Nope.
now, keep it level, or let it go down?
Yeah, no, let it come down, add 1 notch of flaps. So 1600, 1 notch of flaps. And carb heat.
Air 6, Lake Sport 643 Alpha Romeo is
Power back a little bit.
to the
And we're going to pitch for 80.
landing 16.
I'll tell you what, I have the flight controls.
You got the flight control.
I have the flight controls. So we're going to pitch for 80 now. Watch the airspeed here. Okay, so I want 80 on the airspeed.
16 direction.
And now I'm going to turn base. Okay?
Hanover traffic.
And it's space, I want 75 on the
downwind
airspeed.
with the traffic
Yeah, I'm going to add a second notch of flaps.
Hanover.
Traffic 577 kilo is left base, runway 20 Maryland.
Hanover traffic.
Okay, there's my runway.
Base for 16
Okay,
Hanover.
I'm looking good.
Hanover
Okay.
traffic.
A little high, bring the power back some more, I'm going to start turn to final.
500 to drop back in for runway.
And I'm going to start pitching for 65 on the airspeed. 77 kilo final, runway 20 Maryland. I've got wind coming this way. Okay, I'm going to trim for 65. Note the winds are basically driving me that way, so I'm going to kick in some right rudder to help that come around. Get rid of the power.
3 Alpha Romeo. Winchester traffic, number 160 Charlie, is about 5 miles to the southeast.
And on throttle.
Practice on the ILS 32 Winchester.
Nice airspeed control all the way down, a little bit of rudder. Start a round out. So what I'm going to start doing here is pitching up a little bit. A little bit of brakes. And we'll try to make this turn out here.
You have a little bit of a slip in there?
For that landing?
Yeah.
I didn't really put a little bit of a slip in it because we were wings level when I landed. There is a little bit of a crosswind component. I definitely had rudder in. Okay, so now we're clear of the active runway. So, Maryland, 5477 kilos, clear of the active 20 Maryland. All right. After landing checklist. Runways clear. Flaps retract. Carpet.
Cool.
We can get rid of the we can get rid of the landing light. We can, that's over here on top. And then
Okay.
this, there we go. And then this, okay, so let me show you how I do this. Okay, so this, I just do a flow. I start over here, flaps come up, mixture comes out, get rid of the carb heat, landing light. Done.
Okay.
Just start.
Cross.
Right. In fact, airline pilots, they teach flows. Okay. Can you hold the brakes for a moment? I'm just gonna get rid of my sunglasses so I can actually see. Oops. I hit the wire. Alright, so let's taxi back this way. So we're going to taxi to the right. You have the flight controls?
I have the flight controls.
You have the flight controls. I wasn't sure when it was really going to get dark on us, so I didn't want to be pushing it on lighting. I'm sorry? It's about 10 to 5.
Good.
Yeah, it's real good.
Go right to the end and take off again.
Yep. So we'll follow the turn to the right, and there'll be a hold short line that we'll stop at. Okay, good. So now there's a checklist. It's an abbreviated departure checklist for us. I'll flip back a page. And it's the stuff between the top and the asterisks.
Okay. So flaps are set 0. We're going to not do the short field takeoff. I take it on this.
Yeah, we